In the year 2147, humanity had established itself as a modest participant in the interstellar community. The United Earth Council, headquartered in New Geneva, oversaw Earth's ventures into the cosmos, fostering peaceful relations with neighboring civilizations. Among the Council's most ambitious projects was the development of the Universal Linguistic Translator ULT, a device poised to bridge communication gaps between species. Dr. Elena Ramirez, a leading linguist and chief architect of the ULT, stood before the sleek obsidian monolith that housed the device's core. Housed within the Council's research and development facility, the ULT was a marvel of quantum computing and neural interfacing, designed to interpret and translate the vast array of alien languages encountered by humanity. Today marks a new era in interspecies communication, Elena declared, her voice resonating with anticipation. A select group of diplomats, scientists, and council members had gathered to witness the inaugural activation of the ULT. As Elena initiated the startup sequence, the monolith hummed to life, its surface illuminated by intricate patterns of light. The device began scanning the electromagnetic spectrum, seeking signals from neighboring star systems to interpret and decode. Unbeknownst to the assembly, a subtle calibration error caused the ULT to emit a low-frequency pulse signal that, while imperceptible to human senses, propagated through subspace channels utilized by numerous alien species. Light years away, aboard the Vortan flagship Xerix, Commander Thalketh monitored the ship's communication array. The Vortan, a species renowned for their hierarchical societal structure, perceived the unexpected signal as a formal declaration of authority. "Commander," reported Sub-Officer Vectal, "we have received a transmission bearing the markers of the Terran species." "Display the message," Thalketh ordered. The bridge's holodisplay projected the decoded signal, which, due to the ULT's malfunction, presented as an assertion of dominance and a summons for allegiance. "It appears the humans have proclaimed themselves as sovereigns of this sector," Vectal interpreted, his tone laced with intrigue. "Curious," Thalketh mused. "Prepare a delegation. We shall journey to Earth to acknowledge their assertion." Back on Earth, the ULT's initial test concluded without apparent incident. Elena and her team celebrated the device's successful activation, unaware of the miscommunication it had broadcasted across the stars. Days later, Earth's orbital sensors detected an incoming fleet of alien vessels. The United Earth Council convened an emergency session, their chambers abuzz with concern and speculation. "We are being hailed," announced Admiral Way, the Council's defense liaison. On screen, directed Counselor Adebayo, the presiding officer. The central display illuminated with the image of Commander Thalketh, his imposing figure adorned in ceremonial armor. "Esteemed leaders of Earth," Thalketh intoned, "we have received your proclamation of dominion. The Vortan Empire stands ready to pledge our fealty to humanity's rule." A stunned silence enveloped the council chamber. Elena, present as a technical advisor, felt a chill course through her as the realization dawned. This must be a misunderstanding," stammered Counselor Patel. "We issued no such proclamation. Our instruments detected a transmission from your world," Thalketh replied, "a signal of authority recognized by interstellar conventions." Elena's mind raced, recalling the ULT's test sequence. Could the device have inadvertently sent a misconstrued message? "Commander Thalketh," she interjected, "I am Dr. Elena Ramirez, lead scientist of the project responsible for that transmission. It appears an error has occurred, leading to an unintended message. We seek peaceful collaboration, not dominion." Thalketh regarded her thoughtfully. "The Vortan Empire respects strength and clarity. If this was indeed an error, it is imperative that you rectify it. However, know that your signal has reached far beyond our realm. Other species may interpret it differently." With that, the transmission ended, leaving the Council to grapple with the ramifications of the unintended broadcast. "We must initiate diplomatic outreach immediately," urged Counselor Adebayo, "and Dr. Ramirez, ensure that the ULT is thoroughly examined to prevent further miscommunications." Elena nodded, her thoughts a whirlwind of concern and determination. The path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, and humanity's place in the galaxy had been irrevocably altered by a single, unintended signal. As the Council adjourned, the weight of their predicament settled upon them. The delicate tapestry of interstellar relations had been disrupted, and the task of mending it would require unprecedented diplomacy and introspection. Unbeknownst to them, the ripple effects of the ULT's signal were already spreading, reaching civilizations far and wide, each interpreting the message through the lens of their own cultures and histories. And so humanity stood on the precipice of an unforeseen destiny, thrust into the role of galactic leadership not by ambition, but by the capricious whims of chance and technology. The unintended transmission from Earth's Universal Linguistic Translator ULT continued to propagate through the cosmos, reaching civilizations both near and distant. Each species, interpreting the signal through the prism of their own cultures and histories, reacted in diverse and unpredictable ways. On the planet Xylera, in the crystalline halls of the Xylari Council, an emergency session was underway. The Xylari, a species with a deep-seated respect for hierarchical order, had received the ULT signal and interpreted it as a summons from a superior authority. Esteemed counselors intoned high-speaker Lumen, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with concern. The message from the Terrans indicates a restructuring of interstellar governance. We must decide whether to align ourselves with this new order or assert our independence. Debate ensued, with some counselors advocating for allegiance to the perceived new leadership, while others urged caution and further investigation. Aboard the Cathari warship Vorkesh, the Cathari, a warrior race with a storied history of conquest, perceived the signal as a challenge to their dominance. In the command chamber of the Vorkesh, Commander Severus addressed his assembled officers. "The humans dare to assert supremacy over the galaxy," Severus growled, his mandibles clicking in agitation. "We shall respond with the full might of the Cathari fleet. Prepare for immediate departure to the Sol system." The officers saluted, their eyes gleaming with anticipation of the impending conflict. On Earth, in the aftermath of the Vorton delegation's visit, the United Earth Council was inundated with communications from various alien species, each with their own interpretations of the ULT's message. Some offered alliances, others demanded explanations, and a few issued outright threats. Dr. Elena Ramirez and her team worked tirelessly to recalibrate the ULT, aiming to prevent further miscommunications. However, the challenge of crafting a clarifying message that would be universally understood proved daunting. Every species has its own linguistic nuances and cultural contexts, Elena explained during a council briefing. A message intended to convey peace could be interpreted as weakness or deceit by others. "We must act swiftly," urged Councillor Adebayo. "The longer we delay, the more precarious our position becomes." As the council deliberated, reports arrived of unidentified vessels amassing at the fringes of the solar system. The Cathari fleet had arrived, and their intentions were unmistakably hostile. Aboard the Cathari flagship Vorkesh, Commander Severus stood before the tactical display, observing the positions of Earth's defense satellites and space stations. "Their defenses are primitive," noted Sub-Commander Rakal. "They will fall swiftly. Do not underestimate them," Severus cautioned. "We will issue a formal demand for their surrender. If they refuse, we shall proceed with the assault." On Earth, the United Earth Council received the Cathari ultimatum with a mixture of fear and resolve. "We cannot surrender our sovereignty based on a misunderstanding," declared Councillor Patel. "We must defend ourselves. Our military capabilities are limited," Admiral Wei warned. "Diplomacy may be our best option." As tensions escalated, an unexpected ally emerged. The Vortan, honoring their pledge of fealty, dispatched a fleet to Earth's defense. Aboard the Vortan cruiser Xyrix, Commander Thalketh communicated with the United Earth Council via holographic link. "We recognize the Cathari as formidable adversaries," Thalketh stated. "With our combined forces, we stand a chance of repelling their aggression." "Your assistance is most welcome," Councillor Adebayo replied. "Let us coordinate our strategies." As the Allied fleets prepared for the impending confrontation, Dr. Ramirez and her team transmitted a carefully crafted message to the Cathari, seeking to clarify the original miscommunication and avert bloodshed. "We must hope they are willing to listen," Elena murmured, her eyes fixed on the transmission console. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the balance of power in the galaxy, hung in the balance as humanity faced the unintended consequences of their technological ambition. In the vast expanse of space, the ripple effects of the ULT's signal continued to spread, touching worlds and civilizations in ways yet to be realized. The journey that had begun with a single, unintended transmission was far from over, and humanity's role in the intricate tapestry of the galaxy was still unfolding. The vastness of space bore silent witness as the Cathari fleet, led by the formidable warship Vorkesh, advanced toward Earth's orbit. Their sleek, obsidian vessels contrasted starkly against the backdrop of distant stars, embodying both elegance and menace. Aboard the Vorkesh, Commander Severus stood resolute on the bridge, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the luminescent displays before him. The intercepted transmission from Earth played on, a Lupa message intended to convey peace, yet perceived by the Cathari as a veiled assertion of dominance. "Their words are laced with duplicity," Severus declared, his voice a low growl. "They seek to placate us while consolidating their power." Sub-Commander Rakal, ever the strategist, inclined his head. Shall we proceed with the assault, Commander? Not yet, Severus replied, a predatory gleam in his eyes. Let us observe their next move. On Earth, in the subterranean command center of the United Earth Council, tension hung thick in the air. Holographic displays projected real-time positions of the Cathari fleet, their formation indicative of an imminent strike. Our attempts at communication have been met with silence, reported Admiral Way, his expression grim. They remain unresponsive to all hails. Dr. Elena Ramirez, her brow furrowed in concentration, reviewed the ULT's transmission logs. It's possible that our previous message was misinterpreted due to cultural differences. We must find a way to convey our intentions clearly. Time is a luxury we do not possess, Counselor Adebayo interjected. We need immediate solutions. As the council deliberated, a new transmission was received not from the Cathari, but from the Vorton cruiser Xyrix. Commander Thalketh's visage materialized before them, his demeanor composed yet resolute. Esteemed counselors, he began, the Vorton fleet stands ready to assist. However, I propose an alternative to open conflict. We are eager to hear your proposal. Commander, Counselor Patel responded. The Cathari respect strength and honor, Thalketh explained. A direct challenge, a duel between champions could resolve this standoff without the devastation of war. Murmurs rippled through the chamber as the council weighed the proposition. Who among us could serve as such a champion? Counselor Adebayo inquired. Before anyone could respond, a figure stepped forward from the periphery of the room. I will, declared Captain Marcus Hale, a decorated officer renowned for his prowess in both diplomacy and combat. Captain Hale, Counselor Patel acknowledged. Are you certain of this course of action? I am, Hale affirmed. If it can prevent a war, I am prepared to face their champion. With the council's assent, a message was dispatched to the Cathari, proposing the duel as a means to settle the dispute. Aboard the Vorkesh, Commander Severus received the transmission with a mixture of surprise and intrigue. The humans propose a duel, Rakal reported. Their champion against ours, to determine the outcome of this conflict. A slow, predatory smile spread across Severus's features. Interesting. They may yet prove worthy adversaries. Prepare our champion. On the surface of Mars, the barren expanse of the Valles Marineris had been chosen as the arena neutral ground, its crimson sands bearing silent witness to the impending clash. At one end stood Captain Hale, clad in advanced combat armor, his expression steely with determination. Opposite him loomed the Cathari champion, a towering figure exuding raw power and menace. As the duel commenced, the two combatants engaged in a fierce exchange, their movements a blur of skill and strength. The battle raged on, each warrior pushing the other to their limits. In a final decisive maneuver, Hale managed to disarm his opponent, his weapon poised for the finishing blow. Yet, instead of striking, he extended a hand to the fallen Cathari, a gesture of honor and respect. The Cathari champion, after a moment's hesitation, grasped Hale's hand, acknowledging the gesture. Aboard the Vorkesh, Commander Severus observed the scene unfold on the holo display, a contemplative expression on his face. Perhaps we have underestimated the humans, he mused. They have demonstrated both strength and honor. Turning to Rakal, he issued his command. Signal our fleet to stand down. We shall engage in diplomatic talks. On Earth, the news of Captain Hale's victory and the Cathari's agreement to negotiate was met with widespread relief and cautious optimism. The successful resolution of the duel between Captain Marcus Hale and the Cathari champion had a profound impact across the galaxy. News of humanity's strength and honor spread rapidly, prompting various alien civilizations to reassess their perceptions of Earth. In the Galactic Council chambers, the Galactic Council, a conglomerate of representatives from numerous species, convened an emergency session to discuss the implications of recent events. The humans have demonstrated remarkable resilience and honor, stated Counselor Zaltor of the Xylari, his crystalline form shimmering under the chamber's lights. It is imperative that we engage with them diplomatically to ensure stability in our region of space. Murmurs of agreement resonated throughout the assembly. I propose we extend an invitation to Earth to join the Galactic Council as an observer state, suggested Counselor Thranek of the Vorton. This will allow us to foster mutual understanding and cooperation. The motion was met with widespread approval, and preparations for the diplomatic envoy to Earth commenced. On Earth, in the aftermath of the duel, the United Earth Council found itself inundated with communications from various alien species, each seeking to establish or strengthen diplomatic ties. We've received formal invitations from the Xylari, the Vortan, and several other civilizations, reported Counselor Patel during a session. They wish to engage in cultural and technological exchanges. This is an unprecedented opportunity, remarked Counselor Adebayo. We must approach these developments with both enthusiasm and caution. Dr. Elena Ramirez, present as a technical advisor, raised a pertinent concern. While these diplomatic overtures are promising, we must address the underlying issue that precipitated this situation, the malfunction of the Universal Linguistic Translator. Agreed, nodded Admiral Wei. Ensuring accurate communication is paramount to prevent future misunderstandings. In the Research and Development Facility, Elena and her team delved into the ULT's systems, determined to identify and rectify the glitch that had caused the initial miscommunication. The error seems to stem from a misalignment in the semantic algorithms, noted Dr. Chen, a leading software engineer. It caused certain phrases to be interpreted as assertions of dominance rather than diplomatic overtures. We need to recalibrate the contextual analysis modules to account for cultural nuances, Elena suggested. This will help ensure that our messages are interpreted as intended across diverse species. As the team worked tirelessly to enhance the ULT, the diplomatic envoy from the Galactic Council arrived on Earth. In New Geneva, the United Earth Council hosted representatives from the Galactic Council in a historic summit. We are honored to welcome you to Earth, Counselor Adebayo greeted the delegates. May this meeting mark the beginning of a new era of interstellar cooperation. Counselor Zaltor responded, the honor is ours. We look forward to learning from one another and working together for the prosperity of all our peoples. As discussions progressed, topics ranged from trade agreements to collaborative scientific research, with a shared emphasis on maintaining peace and understanding among the stars. In the shadows, not all parties viewed the burgeoning alliance favorably. In the depths of uncharted space, factions that thrived on chaos and conflict observed the developments with growing concern. The unity of these species threatens our operations, hissed a cloaked figure, its features obscured in darkness. We must sow discord before their alliance solidifies. Plans were set in motion to undermine the nascent cooperation, aiming to plunge the galaxy back into turmoil. On Earth, unaware of the looming threats, humanity embraced its new role on the galactic stage. Cultural exchanges flourished, with alien art, music, and technology captivating the imaginations of Earth's populace. In a public address, Captain Marcus Hale, now celebrated as a hero, spoke to the citizens of Earth. We stand at the threshold of a new chapter in human history, he proclaimed. Let us approach it with open minds and hearts, ready to learn and grow alongside our interstellar neighbors. As humanity ventured further into the cosmos, the lessons learned from the unintended consequences of their technological advancements served as a constant reminder of the importance of humility, vigilance, and the pursuit of understanding in the vast and diverse tapestry of the galaxy. Counselor Adebayo, now Earth's representative, stood before the assembly, presenting a proposal for a unified approach to resource management on uninhabited planets. Honorable Counselors, Adebayo began, our collective future depends on sustainable practices. We propose the establishment of an interspecies committee to oversee the equitable distribution and preservation of resources. Murmurs of agreement resonated through the chamber, but not all were convinced. While the proposal has merit, interjected Counselor Severus of the Cathari, it may impinge upon the sovereignty of individual species. We must tread carefully to avoid overreach. The debate highlighted the delicate balance between collective action and individual autonomy, a balance that was becoming increasingly precarious. On Earth, Dr. Elena Ramirez and her team had successfully recalibrated the Universal Linguistic Translator ULT, ensuring more accurate cross-cultural communications. However, the unintended consequences of its initial malfunction continued to cast long shadows. Elena, said Dr. Chen, approaching her workstation, we've received reports of unauthorized access, attempts to the ULT's core algorithms. Someone is trying to manipulate the system. We need to enhance our security protocols immediately, Elena responded, her expression tense. If the ULT is compromised, it could destabilize our diplomatic relations. As they worked to fortify the system, the source of the intrusion remained elusive, raising concerns about internal dissent or external sabotage. In the shadows, unbeknownst to the public, a clandestine group known as the Echoes of Sovereignty had formed, comprising individuals from various species, who opposed the centralization of power within the Galactic Council. The humans' rise has accelerated the Council's overreach, declared a hooded figure during a secret meeting. We must act to preserve our autonomy and prevent the homogenization of our cultures. What do you propose? Inquired another member, their features obscured by shadows. We will disrupt their communications, sow discord among their alliances, and expose the vulnerabilities of their technologies. Only then can we restore balance. The group's machinations set the stage for a series of events that would test the resilience of interspecies cooperation. aboard the Vortan cruiser Xyrix. Commander Thalketh received an encrypted message warning of potential sabotage within the Council's ranks. We have credible intelligence suggesting that the Echoes of Sovereignty are planning to disrupt the upcoming summit on interspecies trade, reported Sub-Officer Vektal. Inform Earth's delegation and increase security measures, Thalketh ordered. We cannot allow fringe elements to undermine the progress we've made. At the summit, delegates from across the galaxy gathered on the neutral planet of Xylara to discuss trade agreements that would benefit all member species. As Councillor Adebayo prepared to deliver Earth's address, the lights flickered, and the ULT's translation feeds began emitting garbled, unintelligible sounds. What's happening? Adebayo whispered urgently to an aide. It appears the translation systems are being jammed, the aide replied, panic evident in their voice. The disruption led to confusion and frustration among the delegates, with misunderstandings escalating into heated exchanges. Sensing the mounting tension, Commander Thalketh intervened. Esteemed councillors, he announced, his voice commanding attention. We are experiencing technical difficulties. I urge everyone to remain calm while we resolve the issue. Behind the scenes, technicians worked feverishly to counteract the sabotage, while security forces discreetly searched for the perpetrators. In the aftermath, although the immediate crisis was averted, the incident left a residue of mistrust among the delegates. We must identify and address the root causes of this dissent, Councillor Adebayo stated during a debriefing. Ignoring these undercurrents will only lead to further destabilization. Dr. Elena Ramirez, reflecting on the situation, remarked, Our technology can bridge worlds, but it can also be weaponized to divide us. We must remain vigilant and foster open dialogue to truly achieve unity. As the Galactic Council grappled with these challenges, it became increasingly clear that the path to interspecies harmony was fraught with obstacles, both seen and unseen. The echoes of dissent served as a stark reminder that true unity requires not only technological advancement but also mutual respect, understanding, and the unwavering commitment to a shared vision of peace. The sabotage at the Xylara summit had sown seeds of mistrust among the Galactic Council's member species. Despite efforts to identify the perpetrators, the Echoes of Sovereignty remained elusive, their actions casting a shadow over interspecies relations. In the Galactic Council chambers, Councillor Adebayo stood before the Assembly, addressing the recent disruptions. Esteemed councillors, Adebayo began, the recent sabotage underscores the need for enhanced security and transparency within our communications. We must work together to prevent such incidents from undermining our unity. Councillor Severus of the Cathari responded, his tone measured. While we condemn the sabotage, we must also acknowledge the growing dissent among our populations. Imposing stricter measures may only exacerbate these tensions. The debate highlighted the delicate balance between maintaining security and respecting individual freedoms, a balance that was becoming increasingly difficult to achieve. On Earth, Dr. Elena Ramirez and her team continued to monitor the Universal Linguistic Translator ULT for any signs of tampering. Elena, Dr. Chen reported, we've detected unusual data packets being transmitted through the ULT's network. They appear to be encrypted messages, possibly from the Echoes of Sovereignty. Can we trace their origin? Elena inquired. We're attempting to, but the signals are being routed through multiple relays across different systems. It's as if they're using the ULT's own infrastructure to mask their location. Keep at it, Elena urged. We need to uncover their network before they can cause further harm. In the shadows, the Echoes of Sovereignty convened in a hidden enclave, their leader addressing the Assembly. Our recent actions have shaken the foundations of the Galactic Council, the leader proclaimed. But to achieve true autonomy, we must escalate our efforts. We will target key infrastructures, disrupt their alliances, and expose the fragility of their so-called unity. The group's resolve was unwavering, their plans becoming increasingly audacious. Aboard the Vortan cruiser Xyrix, Commander Thalketh received intelligence reports indicating potential threats to critical space stations and communication hubs. Sub-Officer Vektal, Thalketh ordered, deploy reconnaissance drones to monitor these locations. We must be prepared to counter any acts of sabotage. Understood, Commander. Vektal replied. We'll initiate surveillance immediately. At the United Earth Council, Councillor Adebayo convened a meeting with key advisors, including Captain Marcus Hale and Dr. Elena Ramirez. Captain Hale, Adebayo began, we need to bolster our defenses against potential threats from the Echoes of Sovereignty. Your experience in both diplomacy and combat will be invaluable. I'll coordinate with our allies to enhance security measures, Hale responded. We'll ensure that any attempts at sabotage are swiftly neutralized. Dr. Ramirez, Adebayo continued, your team's work on the ULT is crucial. We must prevent our communication networks from being exploited. We're implementing advanced encryption protocols and monitoring systems, Elena assured. We'll stay ahead of any attempts to compromise our technology. In the Galactic Council chambers, tensions continued to rise as member species expressed concerns over the increasing dissent. Councillor Thranek Adebayo addressed the Vorten representative. We must present a united front against these threats. Collaboration is our strongest asset. Agreed, Thranek replied. We propose joint task forces to address security concerns and to engage in dialogue with dissenting factions, seeking peaceful resolutions where possible. The proposal was met with cautious optimism, signaling a collective commitment to preserving the fragile peace. In the shadows, the echoes of sovereignty, undeterred by the Council's efforts, intensified their campaigns, targeting supply routes and communication arrays. Our message is clear, their leader declared. We will not be subjugated by a homogenized interstellar authority. Our sovereignty is non-negotiable. As their actions grew bolder, the galaxy teetered on the brink of widespread conflict. On Earth, Dr. Elena Ramirez's team made a breakthrough, identifying patterns in the encrypted messages that could lead to the Echo's network. Elena, Dr. Chen exclaimed, we've traced the signals to a cluster of uncharted systems on the galaxy's fringe. It appears to be their base of operations. Excellent work, Elena replied. We'll relay this information to Captain Hale and the Council. It's time to bring an end to their campaign of terror. Aboard the Vortan cruiser Xyrix, Commander Thalketh coordinated with Captain Hale, preparing a joint task force to confront the echoes of sovereignty. Captain Hale, Thalketh stated, our reconnaissance has pinpointed their stronghold. A swift, decisive strike will dismantle their operations. Agreed, Hale responded. We'll proceed with precision, minimizing collateral damage and offering terms of surrender to those willing to stand down. As the task force embarked on their mission, the galaxy held its breath, the outcome poised to determine the future of interspecies relations. In the shadows, the echoes of sovereignty, aware of the impending assault, prepared to defend their cause. We may be outnumbered, their leader proclaimed, but our resolve is unbreakable. We fight for our freedom, for our right to self-determination. The stage was set for a confrontation that would either restore harmony or plunge the galaxy into deeper discord. On the fringes of the galaxy, the joint task force arrived at the Echo's stronghold, a hidden base nestled within an asteroid field. All units, maintain formation, Captain Hale commanded. Our objective is to neutralize their capabilities and bring their leaders into custody. As the task force advanced, the Echoes launched a fierce defense, determined to protect their sanctuary in the midst of battle. Amidst the chaos, Captain Hale's vessel breached the Echo's defenses, docking at their central command station. Move out, Hale ordered his team. Secure the area and apprehend their leaders, navigating the joint task force, led by Captain Marcus Hale and Commander Thalketh, advanced through the asteroid base's labyrinthine corridors. Their mission clear: dismantle the echoes of sovereignty and restore stability to the galaxy. Within the stronghold, the echoes, though prepared for an assault, found themselves overwhelmed by the coordinated precision of the task force. As skirmishes erupted, it became evident that the insurgents were a diverse coalition, united by a shared desire for autonomy, but fragmented in their methods and ideologies. Secure the control center, Hale commanded, his voice steady over the comms. We need to cut off their communications and access their intel. Thalketh nodded, signaling his unit to flank the opposition. Proceed with caution. Their desperation may drive them to extreme measures. In the command center, as the task force breached the stronghold's nerve center, they encountered the Echo's leadership, council of representatives from various species, each bearing the marks of their struggle against perceived oppression. Stand down, Hale urged, his weapon lowered in a gesture of conciliation. Further resistance will only lead to unnecessary loss. Let's resolve this through dialogue. A figure stepped forward, removing their hood to reveal a determined visage. Dialogue? After you've stormed our sanctuary, we fight for our sovereignty, not to be subjugated by a homogenized council. Your grievances are acknowledged, Thalketh interjected. But violence undermines your cause. The Galactic Council is willing to listen and address your concerns through diplomatic channels. The leader's gaze wavered, the weight of their losses evident. Words have failed us before. How can we trust that this time will be different? Because this time, Hale replied, we stand together, committed to genuine reform. Lay down your arms, and let's forge a path forward, united yet respectful of our unique identities. Aftermath. The confrontation concluded with a tenuous ceasefire. The Echoes of Sovereignty agreed to disarm and participate in a summit dedicated to addressing the autonomy and representation of all species within the Galactic Council. Back on Earth, Dr. Elena Ramirez and her team continued to enhance the Universal Linguistic Translator, ensuring that communication remained a bridge rather than a barrier. Our technology must evolve alongside our diplomacy, Elena mused. Only then can we prevent misunderstandings that lead to conflict. As the galaxy embarked on this new chapter, the lessons learned from the unintended consequences of humanity's rise to prominence served as a guiding beacon. Unity, they realized, was not the absence of diversity, but the harmonious integration of myriad voices, each contributing to the symphony of interstellar civilization. In the aftermath of the ceasefire, the Galactic Council convened a historic summit on the neutral planet of Xylara. Delegates from all member species, including former insurgents from the Echoes of Sovereignty, gathered to chart a course toward a more inclusive and equitable interstellar society. In the Grand Assembly Hall, Councillor Adebayo addressed the assembly, her voice resonating with determination. Esteemed delegates, we stand at a pivotal moment in our shared history. The recent conflicts have illuminated the fractures within our union. It is incumbent upon us to address these disparities and forge a path toward genuine unity. The leader of the Echoes, now a recognized delegate, rose to speak. We sought autonomy, fearing the erosion of our cultural identities. Yet, through dialogue, we have come to understand that unity need not come at the expense of diversity. We are prepared to work collaboratively to ensure that all voices are heard and respected. In the corridors of diplomacy, Dr. Elena Ramirez and her team introduced the latest enhancements to the Universal Linguistic Translator ULT, designed to facilitate more nuanced and accurate interspecies communication. With these upgrades, Elena explained to a gathering of diplomats, we can minimize misunderstandings and foster deeper connections among our peoples. Communication is the bedrock of cooperation. Aboard the Vortan cruiser Xyrix, Commander Thal Keith and Captain Marcus Hale reflected on the journey that had brought them to this juncture. We have traversed a tumultuous path, Thalketh observed. Yet, in adversity, we have discovered the strength of collaboration. Love this story? Hit subscribe, like, and share to explore more of my sci-fi adventures. And don't miss this next video, I know you'll love it.